They call it the Devil's Maw. A cave so deep, so black that even the bravest refuse to enter. It sits in the heart of Black Hollow Forest, a place that doesn't appear on any map. Some say it swallows sound, others claim they've seen things crawling just beyond the threshold, things with too many limbs and not enough eyes. I never believed the stories, not until I went inside. It started as a stupid dare. My friends and I were drinking by the fire, swapping local legends, when Chris, the loudest of the group, grinned at me. "Bet you won't go in," he said. I laughed it off at first, but as the night dragged on, the teasing got worse. Coward, chicken, scaredy cat. Maybe it was the beer, or maybe my own arrogance. But eventually I grabbed a flashlight, tied a rope around my waist and told them to pull me out if I wasn't back in 15 minutes. I stepped inside. The entrance was narrower than I expected. The walls felt damp and oddly warm, like the inside of a mouth. My breath echoed around me, swallowed by the oppressive silence. With every step, the air thickened, like something unseen was pressing against my chest. Then, after only a few minutes, the rope around my waist snapped. I froze. My lifeline was gone. I turned back toward the entrance, only to find that it wasn't there anymore. The passage behind me had twisted, reshaped itself into an endless corridor of black stone. My flashlight flickered, and the temperature plummeted. That's when I first heard it. A whisper. It wasn't coming from behind me or in front of me, it was coming from inside the walls. At first, the whispers were too low to make out, a soft rhythmic hissing that made my skin crawl. But as I moved deeper into the cave, they grew clearer. "Turn back. It's hungry. You don't belong here." I wasn't alone. My hands trembled as I swept my flashlight across the cavern. The light caught something. A figure, just at the edge of my vision. It was tall, impossibly thin, with elongated fingers that stretched toward me. I whipped the flashlight back. Gone. A deep rattling breath filled the space behind me. Something was breathing down my neck. I ran. I didn't know where I was going, only that I had to get away, but the deeper I went, the more the cave changed. The stone walls became wrong, soft, pulsing, like they were alive. Then I saw it. A door, not made of wood or stone, but of flesh. A massive, breathing thing with veins stretched across its surface. At its center, a single eye opened and fixed its gaze on me. The whispers became screams. I turned to flee, but the tunnel behind me had vanished. In its place was a wall of shifting, writhing meat. A wet, slithering sound echoed from the darkness. Something was moving behind the door, and then, the door opened. There was no fire, no brimstone, just a vast, endless void filled with faces, some screaming, some whispering, some locked in expressions of eternal terror. A clawed hand reached out from the darkness. Long fingers wrapped around my wrist, cold and wet, pulling, yanking. I fought, I screamed. My feet scraped against the ground as I struggled against the thing dragging me into the abyss. I don't remember how I got out. One moment I was falling, the next I was standing outside the cave. My friends were shaking me, their faces pale. "You were gone for hours," but that wasn't possible. I'd only been inside for minutes, hadn't I? I barely spoke on the way home. My clothes were damp with something thick and black. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. That night, I locked my bedroom door and turned on every light in the house. But as I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, I heard it again. The whisper. It was coming from my closet. I held my breath as the door creaked open an inch. And then, it breathed.